You ever hear a story that starts so quietly, so subtly, that you don't even realize you've stepped into another world until everything around you feels different? This one begins that way, late at night, in a city where the lights never turn off, and where one young, rich, hot, impossibly successful man walks through the world as if he owns a piece of destiny itself. People don't know his real name. They call him the JungkookCore boy, the one with the midnight stare, the velvet voice, the kind of confidence that turns gravity into a suggestion. And the strange part? No one remembers when he first appeared. He was just, suddenly there. Some say he arrived on a stormy night. Others swear he walked out of a luxury car nobody heard pulling up. But what everyone remembers is the moment they first saw him. It was the way he carried himself, clean lines, sharp jaw, effortless charm, as if success wasn't something he chased but something that followed him like a shadow. And from that moment on, rumors started spreading, the kind that grow louder the longer you try to ignore them. Rumors that he wasn't just wealthy, he was lucky, unusually so, like the universe had carved out a shortcut just for him. But here's the part people don't like to talk about. Because the thing that made him magnetic wasn't the money, the fame, or the elegance dripping from every move. It was the quietness. The controlled, burning quietness of someone who was always 3 steps ahead. Someone who seemed to know exactly what was going to happen before anyone else had even thought to look. Tonight, he stood on the rooftop of a penthouse overlooking the entire city, black hair moving with the wind, hands in the pockets of a jacket that probably cost more than some people's cars. His life was a dream: endorsements, cars, music, fashion, flawless skin, millions of followers waiting for his next move. But even with all that, you could feel it, something was shifting. Something no one else noticed. Something he had been waiting for. He closed his eyes, and for a moment the world felt suspended. That was the thing about him: when he paused, everything paused. When he stepped forward, everything followed. The JungkookCore fantasy wasn't about looks or wealth. It was the aura. The energy. The way he made ambition feel sexy, the way he made success feel inevitable. But as he stood there, breathing in the electric night air, a question rose quietly beneath the surface. A question even he didn't have an answer for. What if all of this, the fame, the fortune, the effortless magic, wasn't the peak? What if it was only the prologue? Because earlier that day, something strange had happened. Something that didn't fit into his perfectly curated world. He had received a message. No name. No number. Just a single line: "You're not ready for what's coming." Most people would ignore it. Block the sender. Laugh it off. But he couldn't. Because as soon as he read it, he felt the smallest tug in his chest, an instinct he had learned never to ignore. Something big was on the horizon, something tied to a truth he didn't know he'd been missing. And the message wasn't a threat. It was a warning. That night, as the city hummed below, he felt it again, a shift in the air. A pulse of possibility. And in that heartbeat, the twist revealed itself in a way he never expected, because this time, the universe wasn't handing him success. It wasn't giving him praise or luxury or the effortless charm that always worked in his favor. It was giving him a choice. In front of him, the rooftop lights flickered, once, twice, before revealing a figure standing at the opposite edge. Someone who looked impossibly familiar. Same height. Same posture. Same sharp gaze. It was him. Or rather, a version of him, not polished, not famous, not dripping in wealth. A version with tired eyes and worn shoes. A version that showed what he might have been if he hadn't been handed opportunities, if he hadn't stepped into the spotlight at the perfect moment, if his life had zigzagged instead of rising cleanly to the top. The two locked eyes, and for the first time, the JungkookCore boy felt something he never allowed himself to feel: vulnerability. His other self spoke first, voice steady but heavy. "You don't know what it costs to become you." And in that instant, everything clicked: the message, the strange energy, the shift in the air. This wasn't a warning. This was a reminder. That success, beauty, youth, wealth, talent, none of it was the whole story. The universe wasn't telling him he was unprepared. It was telling him he had forgotten the weight of the climb, The hunger that used to keep him awake at night, the fire that burned before the world handed him everything. The two versions of himself stood face to face, one polished, one human, the city glowing beneath them like 1,000 soft eyes watching. And slowly, the successful version, the one the world adored, felt something warm spread through him. Gratitude. Real gratitude. The kind that grounds you, shapes you, steadies you, and like that, the other version, faded. Not like a ghost. Not like a dream. But like a memory finally understood. He opened his eyes to the city again, alive, loud, breathtaking. And for the first time in a long time, he felt more than admired. He felt real. He felt connected. He felt whole, and that's the part most people don't realize about the young, rich, hot, successful aesthetic they chase. It isn't about perfection. It's about becoming the strongest version of yourself, even when no one is watching, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the world hands you reasons to forget where you came from. As he walked back inside, the city lights danced against the glass behind him, and the night felt different, like a chapter close enough to touch, like a beginning disguised as an ending. And if you're still here, listening to this story unfold, maybe that's your sign too. Look at the version of yourself you've been running toward, or running from, and decide which one deserves to move forward with you.